Welcome to Living the Music. Today we're going to do a top 10 list of Rush songs, but a little bit different. Not just top 10 best songs, but we're looking at the top 10 most inspiring songs. Of course, it's my opinion, but I'd love to hear your opinion in the comments below. And if you can do a top 10, great. If you want to do top 5, top 3, just your number 1, I'd love to hear your view on this. So I'm going to start at number 10 with The Fountain of Lamneth from Caress of Steel. I do think this is quite an inspiring song. It's quite elaborate. This tune takes up the whole side, and there's a lot of words going on here. It's somewhat, you could say, a journey from birth to death, sort of in one day, in sort of a fantasy way. But I also think it's a take on the power of having a dream, having a goal. So the character's goal in this song is to get to the Fountain of Lamneth. And I guess that's on the back side of the album here, the back cover. So he just gets it in his mind that he needs to reach the Fountain of Lamneth, and when he finally gets there, he's somewhat satisfied, but he also takes note that you need a dream. You need something to keep you going forward, and once you don't have a dream, then it's sort of time to turn the lights out. So that's something I like to keep in mind, and constantly be making sure I do have something that I'm up to that's calling me forth, and no matter how old I get, I want to keep on that path, and if that means changing course, that's fine. But it's important to have a goal that you're shooting for. All right, so that's number 10, Fountain of Lamneth. At number 9, from Farewell to Kings, we're going with the great Xanadu. That's my favorite song of Rush overall, but of course that's another list. But what I like about it in terms of its message is just the idea that this character wants immortality, but when he finally gets it, it kind of drives him mad, kind of drives him insane. And I don't know, that could be quite an interesting point. And I often think about that when I think about mortality and what may lie on the other side, and I sometimes wonder about eternity, and if indeed some version of us goes on for all eternity, is that really a good thing, or will it end up being super boring and we'll wish we could turn the lights out for good? So it's thought-provoking, if nothing else. And I think the implicit message there is, be here for now, be here for today. Don't worry about that endless afterlife that may or may not come sometime in the future. Now is really where the real power is and the real meaning is. All right, moving on to number 8, classic Rush from Signals. Yeah, you guessed it. We're going with Subdivisions. I think Subdivisions is so cool. Having grown up in the suburbs like a lot of people in America, what I really love about it is that when we first heard it, we felt seen. It's one of those things like nobody was writing about the suburbs or the suburban experience, so to speak. Not that I can recall, and not with the specificity and the empathy that Neil did. So I just think that is inspiring in a sense to kind of name the experience that a certain group of people may be going through, and like I say, in so doing, there's like an empathy there, and he really got the alienation that can take place in that kind of sterile environment by illuminating the suburban experience, or at least the typical suburban experience. He gave kids, I think, and still does give kids, a window into their experience, so that if they are feeling alienated, they are feeling trapped or a little depressed, it's not necessarily their fault. It's not necessarily a character flaw. It could be the environment that they're in. And whether you can find a way to find peace and empowerment within the same environment, or you're moved to get out of that environment to explore different horizons. I think this song opens up both of those opportunities for us. All right, moving on to number 7. We'll go all the way to their last album, Clockwork Angels, and in fact, the last song on the album, The Garden. I know the guys in the band are quite proud of this song, and it is a lovely song. It's quite different for them, quite ballady, if you will, in its whole musical approach. And this is a concept album, so to some degree, it's sort of kind of closing the story of the album. But I think it is a universal message, and he's saying something quite interesting there to me about the measure of a life is love and respect. A lot of people obviously are tempted to measure their life by material gain, and that is a part of life for most people in the civilized world. But is it healthy for us to have our material gain be our ultimate focus? Maybe not, and it is a different game to play when love and respect becomes your main focus, so that is a lot of food for thought, and it makes one think about the kind of relationships that we're cultivating, the kind of regard that we're creating out there about us, and what we'll leave behind when we are gone. Will we have accrued enough of a bounty of love and respect to say that we were successful? All right, moving on to number 6 from Power Windows. I love Middletown Dreams, but I'm going to go with Marathon. Yeah, great song, and it's an interesting metaphor for life, and he's basically saying, look, it's not always healthy to focus on the sprint, to focus on immediate gratification. You're better off looking long range, or at least a little bit long range in terms of fulfillment, and take your time to put things in order, to savor each moment, but also play the long game. Don't just play for short-term gain. Play to win the greater war, if you will, instead of the immediate skirmish. All right, going to top 5. Number 5 from 2112. We're going to go with the song Something from Nothing, or Something for Nothing, Something for Nothing. Yeah, this is quite direct and quite potent in its message to us, and it is tempting to want the world to give to you when you're not necessarily providing value to begin with, or even in return. So whether that's a material or commercial exchange, or it's an exchange of friendship or love, or any kind of exchange, it's, it's certainly worth remembering. I think you don't get something for nothing. Or you could even look at it in terms of creating achievement, creating accomplishment. It's not just going to be handed to you on a silver platter. You probably are going to have to work for it, and it's probably going to take some blood, sweat, and tears, but you don't get something for nothing. All right, number 4, we got to go back to Farewell to Kings and the great Closer to the Heart. Closer to the Heart. That's a classic, if any Rush song is. Unusual for them, shorter, quite commercial, and really fairly direct, but nevertheless profound message. There's all kinds of ways we can occupy ourselves as individuals, as groups, as businesses, as governments, and he's just saying a simple but powerful message. If we pay more attention to love, if we come from our hearts more with more intention, we're going to be better off. We're gonna feel better about ourselves. We're going to create better outcomes, better relationships. Pretty much everything's going to turn out better if we focus our energies on love, connection, being true to our hearts. All right, going to top 3. Number 3, from Counterparts, we're going to go with the song Nobody's Hero. Nobody's Hero. This is quite a deep song from Neil. I don't even know if I can exactly capture his point. I can just tell you my points that I get from it are that a lot, there's people in the world that go through hell, that really struggle, whether it's with illness or some kind of trauma, but nobody, or outside of their family and close friends, nobody knows them, and nobody lionizes them, nobody sees them as a hero, and maybe we should. Maybe we should be more open to placing the kind of viewpoint of or the lens of hero onto what might be called ordinary people, but of course they're not ordinary. And I would go so far as to say we all can be heroes if we're willing to live our lives with a certain integrity, with a certain intentionality. I think we can all live heroic lives. But the other thing that I get from it is that the Hollywood stars, the glamour girls, as he calls it, the glamour guys, we give them hero status. For what? Because they have a certain image and they can entertain us. It's worth considering if that's deserved and if that's healthy for us as viewers and users of entertainment. And the same goes for Neil himself, who famously was uncomfortable with the fan adulation and just wanted to be treated as a human being. So lots to consider with that song. Very powerful. All right, now number 2, we're going all the way back to, I think, Neil's first lyric with Rush, and that's from Fly By Night, and that's the song Anthem. Now, here he's influenced by Ayn Rand. She has a little novel called Anthem, as a matter of fact, and he would later take that story and repurpose it for 2112. But on this song, he's just talking about the idea of standing up for yourself as an individual. Now, I think over the years, this song can come for some criticism because people think it's a little bit heartless and it's sort of looking down on charity and generosity. I don't know. I think you could look at it that way, but I think the way I see it, it's celebrating the individual, and it's saying you got to take care of yourself, or no one else is going to do it. So sing an anthem for yourself, and get passionate about your life and your voice and what you're up to, because if you don't, nobody else will. So I think that message stands the test of time. Now, going to number 1 from Hold Your Fire, we're going to go with the song Mission. And that's why this is a fun list, I think, and hopefully an interesting list. I don't think too many people would put Mission in their top 10 Rush songs, although I think it is a quite good song. But in terms of inspiring Rush songs, it is my number 1. And it comes back to that theme we talked about earlier about without something to live for, without a dream, without a purpose, or here, as he calls it, a mission, life can be somewhat empty and stale. And so he's really highlighting what happens when you allow yourself to be swept up in a mission. And from the sidelines, when we're watching these people with a mission, we can have our criticisms, but we don't have a clue about the pain and suffering and toil that they're going through to bring this mission to fruition. It's as he says in the song, it's easy to be the critic, but although easy, you don't get the joy and the inspiration you get from being one of those people that are missionaries. And missionary can take many forms. It can take a religious form. It can take a secular form. To me, any mission that's creative is worthy of going for. And you just have to ask yourself, what's calling you? What's calling you forth? And you may need to meditate on that for some time. Take on a lot of research. Kind of just be with your experience. Be with what you notice really moves you and calls to you. And once that coalesces into clarity, then you have the opportunity to jump on it and say, I'm in. I'm all in. I'm going to live this mission, just like Neil Peart did as a musician and as you could say a poet, and I think ultimately as a father as well. Okay, so that's our top 10 most inspiring Rush songs. Again, I'd love to hear your comments. What do you think of my list, if you care to comment? But also, what's your list? What do you find the most inspiring Rush songs? What do you agree about my list? And what have I forgotten? What have I missed? Please tell me. And if you don't mind, go ahead and hit a thumbs up, a like on this video. It really helps us for YouTube to spread it and send it out to some more people, and we can expose more people to good Rush music. And if you like the kind of work we're doing here on this channel, please go ahead and subscribe. Love to have you aboard. Of course, it's completely free to subscribe. And you can hit the notification bell also, so you're always updated on our newest content. We like to provide new content here quite often, so I hope you'll keep joining us. And until the next video, take care.